Hello.
Okay, I think we are live. Okay. Hey, Mukesh, you appeared. How you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm good. You?
I'm doing very good. So we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's community meeting. I'm your host for today, Ace. Tully is away today, preparing for Developer Week. So I'm stepping in for Tully. I know Tully always do an amazing job hosting community meeting, so bear with my mediocrity today. Uh, so without no further ado, let's get started. I'm gonna share my screen. We only have a couple of things on the agenda. Um, can you see my screen? Okay, good, good. So as you can see, we have only a couple of things on the agenda. So which basically means today's meeting is gonna be quick. Um, so the first thing on the agenda is I think Tuli followed up on the API days regarding the 2026 venues, and she hasn't received any answer yet. Uh, I mean, we have developer week happening in few days, I think in a day or two. Um, so we don't have any venue yet confirmed from APIDs. I wonder why that is happening. Lucas, do you think you have an opinion?
You mean why we didn't have yet answer?
Yes.
Because that's API days. It's hard to predict.
Ah,
It's
I
not that
mean,
I doubt it's because they don't want to cooperate or whatever. It's just unfortunately how it always is. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I remember for like uh, past years, we always have like venues by this time of the year. It's so strange that we don't.
Oh, really?
for- yeah, we don't have like one or two.
But I don't recall from my memory. But I'm not sure if it was because of API days was more responsive. I think it's if I remember correctly, in past years, we were just internally on our own deciding which locations we want to
Hmm.
hit and then confirming with them. So maybe you recall a situation where we already knew where we want to go, but it didn't mean that we had like an official whatever.
Oh, okay. I think that's the difference.
I mean, might be. I am at this time I'm not involved in communication with API days, so I'm not 100% sure what's there.
Okay, I mean, we just have to wait to see if they're gonna give us an answer. Hopefully they do that soon because once we have developer week done, then on the conference website, we are not gonna have any venues um, available. So I hope they get this sorted out like quickly. So the next item on the agenda is the summary for 2026. Is out. So the summary for the AsyncAPI conference 2026, all the venues we went to, the amount of speakers we got, the challenges, the surprising things that happen. So we have the summary available. So I'm gonna share on Zoom, and then I'm gonna share on YouTube too, just to be sure we have it for people watching. Mm, I, I think I shared the wrong link. I'm sorry about that. Okay, so this is a report for the 2025 conference. So you should go through it's like check it out. I think it's an amazing thread, and we have like a lot of lessons on how to improve uh, our conference this year, and then have an amazing time. So that's just that on the conference summary. Does anyone have a question? Okay, no questions. So we'll move to the next thing on the agenda. So update on the registration page and meetup section. So if you don't know what this is about, so this is about the conference website. So we are currently approaching this year's conference registration in a different way. So we want to have a general registration page for people that are interested in attending any of our conference this year. So unlike how we've done previous years, where we don't have a centralized registration page for our visitors on the website. So we're going to do that this year, and we have an implementation ongoing, currently in review by one of the conference website maintainers, Tenzin. Uh, so we are in the final part of reviewing the pull request. Uh, but Tenzin is out this week, so we could not finalize the PR this week. So we're going to be finalizing the PR next week. And then once we have it met, we're going to have our own registration page on the conference website. So what we are doing is, so once um, someone visits the conference website and would love to attend any of the venues, you just select your venue, you input your info, and that way we can have our own data, right? So we don't have to rely on um, data from other third parties, and then we can have our own data, and then we can use this data as a presentation to our sponsors to see how many people are attending these conferences or how many people are interested in attending these conferences. So that is that about the update on the registration page. And in the meetup section, yeah, guilty as charged. I haven't spent enough time reviewing the pull request on the meetup section. So we're gonna have a meetup section. Totally really needs this. So I really need to prioritize this. I think Shreya was the one working on the current pull request for the meetup section. And I think Shreya has also been really occupied with so many things. So I'm gonna I promised to prioritize this last week, but I couldn't. But then I'm gonna do that this week. I hope Shreya you'd be available to implement some of the reviews we're gonna suggest.
Yes, I am waiting on you and Thulu and whatever you guys say. And also Maya, I mean, she has to, I think, approve the designs for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think Maya, I have to get Maya to approve the designs. She hasn't been really available too, but hopefully we can get her to like help us out with the design for the mid-up sections, and then we can move that out of the way before this month, runs out because Totally really needs this month, so we have to make sure we get it to her this month. So the next item on the agenda is Developer Week, which is happening, I think, in 2 days, which is Thursday and Friday, I guess, 19 and 20. Are we gonna be um on both days, Lucas? Or we have the dedicated day?
I mean, the track is one day, but the booth is 2 days.
Okay, amazing. So if you're gonna be in the United States, I think San Francisco,
San Jose, which
San
is
Jose.
basically next to San Francisco.
Okay, so if you're gonna be in San Jose, then I guess you should drop by to the developer week and you know come to the booth. I think we have the API standard booth too. Yeah, so you should come.
Yes.
Okay, so you should come to the API standard booth and have a chat. We're gonna have amazing people at the booth. You're gonna see Tuli. So yeah, you should go drop by and say hello. Or if you have any question about Async API, we have amazing people in the booth that are willing to answer your questions and help you out. And if you're a sponsor, you should also like stop by the booth and who knows, you might be hosting our next venue this year while we wait for APIDs to get back to us.
And there would be a
So
lot of swags because the swags that we um, shipped to Paris, but they came late, they got shipped to Tuli, so she took them all to San Jose.
Awesome. So if you like swag like me, you should drop by. You should drop by. Yeah, today's coming. Lucas, do you have anything you want to talk about? We only have a few items on the agenda. No one suggested anything.
No, no, I'm just waiting because I think tomorrow is the GSOC announcement.
Yes, yes, yes. Fingers crossed. We hope. I mean, I've been checking this like lately to see if something's gonna happen. I couldn't wait for the announcement date. I'm tensed, but I believe we're gonna get accepted. So I mean, we've been doing really well this past years. So I see no reason why we shouldn't make it this year. So if you're in for GSOC, if you're interested in GSOC, yeah, announcement to be made tomorrow, I think on the 18th. Um, and then as soon as we have any information about our participation in GSOC, we're going to share with the community instantly. Any question? Okay, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I do have one question.
Okay.
So, this is my first time actually joining the community meeting. I am exploring async API, the
Mhm.
repos and all. So, you just mentioned that the updates on the registration page. So, is someone currently working on the registration page? Can I help that person or something like that?
Okay, I think we have like an amazing contributor already doing the work of implementing the PR for the registration page. I think I have it open
Mhm.
recently. Um,
Excuse me, I'm actually currently working on a registration page.
can you? Oh, are you Dashan, right?
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay, okay. He's the one working on the PR. I mean, sorry, I couldn't remember the name. Yeah,
Okay.
Dashin. So he's been doing an amazing work on the PR. So Tenzin is gonna finalize the. I'm gonna share a link. So if you want to check it out, if you have, any suggestion, I think Dashan will be happy to hear them.
Sure.
So yeah, we're gonna finalize the PR once Tenzin is back, and then we can have it merged. And I think you've done an amazing job so far, Dashan, implementing this, and you're really open to feedback, and I think that's a good quality.
Thank you.
Any other question? Now, Bikash, does that answer your question?
Yeah. So basically, since Darshan is working on this PR, so I don't think I have much to contribute in this PR. So another question is related to the bounty. Yesterday on the Slack page, I've seen some bounties.
Mm-hmm.
So since I am relatively new to the Async API code base and the organization, so I was just looking through a bounty. So that is on the CI/CD pipeline issue. So how can I approach that? Like I'm figuring out stuff. So if I mention the approach, so just how can I just apply to the bounty basically?
Okay, so I think the first thing you should understand about the bounty program is um, maintainers of the AsyncAPI projects are like the priority for these bounty programs. So you can't necessarily, participate in bounty right now, because I believe most of these bounty issues are mostly suggested by current maintainers and community leaders, and they tend to pick them up themselves and to work on them. So, except if we have a bounty issue where no one is willing to work on it, no maintainer showed interest, then that is when contributors are the next order of priority. So, and I believe currently all the bounty issues are being assigned. Uh, Correct me if I'm wrong. So, I don't think
Uh,
there is an.
Actually, last night I just saw two bounties that have no assignees,
Can you
and one of
share me the link?
yeah, just wait a sec.
Okay, because all the bounties I can see here are all in progress except for Maya.
Oh, okay, okay. So it's been assigned right now.
Yeah, so it will eventually get assigned because I think you probably view it when it was in the early stage of submitting bounties. So that was probably why.
Yeah, okay. Thanks for answering my question.
Yeah, awesome. Shreya, you have any question? I can see your hands up.
Yeah, so I have two questions. First one is, so for this year's GSOC program, right? Only maintainers get be mentors, or can anyone be a mentor?
Okay, I don't know if you've seen the community goals for this year. So you can see how we have like a section that is strictly talking about maintainership. So this is a problem we have, and we have to provide a solution to this problem, right? So we need maintainers, and that is why the project we are proposing for GSOC this year only focuses on maintainership. So yeah, we do have ideas about implementing a particular feature, doing this or that, but we intentionally did not go for this project because we need maintainers, right? And we don't want to spend more time tackling other problems when we could eventually spend all the time and resources, fixing the problem we are currently facing, right? Which is lack of maintenance. So that is why we have projects that are based on maintainership, all right? And who are the best people to actually be mentors? They have to be maintainers, right? So they can share their current knowledge with, this amazing contributors we're going to have, and then they can become maintainers too, and then repeat the cycle and repeat the cycle. And that way we end up having more maintainers.
Okay, and I think I had this discussion with you on Slack as well, that I want to be the maintainer for a website repository. Uh,
Mhm.
I I also talked to, I think, Prince, but still I need like a bit more clarity. I'm not sure. I mean, what part should I follow? Is there a formal process, or something else there is?
Yeah, so I love the fact that you did mention, I think you also reached out to me, and I think I
Yeah,
shared with you
yeah.
some couple of ideas. Technically, I said I am not one of the website maintainers, so I can't really, give you go ahead to become a maintainer since I'm not part of the project. But I did share some tips with you. And I also think that this is one of the reasons why we are forming a maintainership working group, right? So, and one of the goal of this working group is to help set up this formal process, right, that you did mention, right? Because I was having a conversation with Bami last week, late last week. She was also one of the interested people in the working group. And one of the things we discussed was actually formal process, right? Are we going to focus on only onboarding maintainers through programs like Google Summer of Code or Linux Foundation or any other program out there, right? Or are we also going to explore setting up formal processes so that people who are interested in becoming a maintainer don't have to go through any of these projects, any of this program rather, don't have to go to any of this program to become a maintainer, right? They could also, willingly show interest like you already did for the website to become maintainers, right? So we're gonna have like requirements, some things you have to meet for you to be considered by other maintainers to onboard you. We're gonna have onboarding guides. So it's a whole lot of process, and that is why we need a working group, right? So it's not something only Ace can pull off. So that is why we're trying to form this working group. So currently I'm working together with Bami to highlight a document for the things that we need, right? The current challenges, how we can approach them and what things we can do better, and also like outreach, how to convince current, I wouldn't say current, like past maintainers that have left the project on how to volunteer to onboard people, especially the Password.js. And it's going to be difficult, but it's something we want to explore to see how we can approach this. So that is where we are at, Shreya. And I think you're also like interested in the working group. So I think it'll be fun like working with you too.
Yeah, I mean, I think for now I only could figure out that if I want to be a maintainer, I'll apply again, which will be like GSOC again. That was not,
Yeah.
but
So
yeah,
we are trying not to make that like the only way to become a maintainer. So that shouldn't be the only way, right? And that's why we are working on these formal processes. And I think you already like you did a lot of things in the website redesign, and that is why I wanted you to have a conversation with Akshat. Did that happen in any way?
yeah, just as an update. So I think all my PRs are in the, I would say, feature branch. They all are merged. Me and Prince, we both are working to bring that, in the main branch by the end of this month. So hopefully the new website will be live this month.
Yeah, and I don't know if Lucas has an opinion about this, but I think that automatically sort of like make you a maintainer, isn't it?
I don't know about that, but
I mean, it all depends on the maintainers. Like, so working group is one thing, so that's definitely good to have a working group that can set up some guidelines and for other maintainers and other projects. But in your case, Shreya, I think it's pretty obvious that your case is different because we already know how it's not that you want to become maintainer and you just started
Mm-hmm.
with AsyncAPI, but you're with AsyncAPI for quite some time already, which means that that you already contributed, website. Uh, I would suggest, especially that you already push these PRs. There's a collaboration with Prince already, which is one of the maintainers. I would suggest like the best reach out to Vish, Vishav, the
wish.
Vish, yeah.
Um,
And because he's a triager, right?
yeah,
So, like in website, we have this, let's say, much easier way of becoming maintainer because like you can first do the triage thing. So, first of all, I wouldn't, so I'm still on the list of the maintainers of the website, but I wouldn't voice my opinion too much because I'm not active. I'm just there as a backup in case of something bad happens and I'm needed. But basically, if I would be the one that suggests who should be the maintainer, for sure I would require that the website redesign, the work is merged. So that's one thing. That's what is also mentioned. But the other thing is the triaging. So check with Vish or Devil Killer if they are active now, if they need help with triaging.
I
So
think
yeah.
Ashmit is not going to be active. He is having some personal things. So for now, I think I would connect with Vishwam and Prince.
So
Yeah.
and it's perfect. Then you just ask for joining as a triager. So you're gonna basically show that you're not just pushing code, but you also help triage and find answers. And then once the PRs are merged, you just open a pull request like Prince and others in the past, and you just showcase what you did. Um, and and of course, ping people if you know them, what they think about it. I think it's completely fine to like always check what they think, but uh, for me, it's pretty straight process in your case, especially.
Okay. Thank you. That's it. I think once I'll have that conversation, I'll check in with both of you about this.
Awesome, awesome. Like I totally agree with what Bukash said. Just keep it straight. Okay, any other question? I think we have Varad. I think you also joined us for this first time in community meeting. Do you mind introducing yourself?
Hi, I'm from India. I'm Varel. This is the second meeting I'm joining in. The previous
Oh,
was everyone was discussing about the community and how we are planning for 2026 and all. So yeah, basically, I'm new to this open source and all. I've been contributing from past 2 months, and I feel like Async API does the thing that I really want, like backend things and all. I'm quite interested in the backend things. So yeah, I've been raising many issues, but not getting a perfect reply from the maintainers. Like recently, I have 8 peers merged across the repositories, but after that, it's like I really want to work for the many more issues, but I'm not getting that positive response back. So yeah.
And what are some of the repos you've contributed to, and why do you think you're not getting positive response from maintainers?
Like the mainly I contributed to Modelina, CLI, and the website one, HTML template, React one also. So I went through many repositories and I found that CLI one was the most interesting one that I could have worked with. And for the Modelina, I worked because like I was getting very fast response from the maintainers and I was getting to know how the issues and everything is and understanding the real issue that facing in the Modelina because in Modelina it was been inactive for a very long time and the node versions and everything was end of its life and Docker file also was not working. So updating that all things was very fun from the Modelina. But I think somewhat maintainers are also quite busy in their life and things are going little fast and all. So I'm waiting for the response to go ahead with it.
Okay, so first and first, I would love to apologize, like, on behalf of all the maintainers about your experience. But one thing I would also let you know is that maintainers are like really, really busy. And you know how we mentioned earlier about having to onboard more maintainers. So this is one of the things we're trying to solve. So having more maintainers means we're gonna have more people to, communicate with contributors like yourself. So we have less maintainers right now. So which is one of the reasons you're experiencing what you're experiencing. It's not necessarily because maintainers are not interested in your contribution. So it's mostly because current maintainers are busy and we need more people to step in just when situations like this arrives. That is why we are focused on maintainership, right? So if we have more maintainers on a project, we're gonna have more people to, help contributors get their work done, review pull requests and have communications with contributors like yourself. So in no way was your experience intentional. So it's just the lack of maintainers and the current ones being busy.
And I'll
Yeah,
add also that it's GSOC time, and like it's also normal that whenever GSOC is approaching, we're basically
In a ghost mode.
under heavy load, let's call it this way,
Mm.
which is unhandleable. So that's why there are delays. Like we're limited, and we're usually doing this after hours in spare time. So that's one thing. And also this year, the amount of the work is even much higher than in previous years. There's a lot of AI slop, a lot
Mhm.
of pull requests that require much more work. People using AI to invent issues that we have to, as a reviewers, review first and then agree if we want to see pull requests. And then sometimes these pull requests are really bad quality, detailed AI pull requests that, again, we have to review as humans, which is this year unbearable. So that's why delays. I also understand it might be disappointing, but I mean, we're just humans, and we have really limited time every day.
Yeah, I totally understand with these things. And basically, I have connected with Slovak also, Ashish also for the CLI things. And they are also like, go ahead with the things you want. Like, we are currently very busy with the updates and everything going on in the CLI and in the modeling and all things. So they are always like, yeah, go ahead. Sovik has connected personally also please to work on it. Like, if you finding some good issues, you should work on it. He gave me one issue also to work on it, and I'm working on it. So yeah, like I am really understanding that maintainers are quite busy. They are not like, and the main concern was from the Sovic also that we are getting many people using AI detection and all, and because of that, we have many repositories are crowded with the AI. Everything is like people are just generating and putting it up. I've also seen it. Like it's very hard for the maintainer to come across the things and go ahead. Yeah. I'm looking forward to contribute more to the Async API. Hope for the best.
Awesome. And we are also looking forward to seeing your contribution, Sam Bharat. Bikash,
Sure,
I think
thank you.
it's your first time joining the community meeting too. Do you want to introduce yourself? I'm sorry if I got that wrong because I'm like,
Uh,
this is my first time seeing you.
Um, no, 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 no. Yeah, so this is my first meeting, as I mentioned earlier. So I am from Assam, India. I have recently completed my master's in computer application, and I am looking forward to contribute to Async API. So basically, as Varad mentioned, related to the responses from the maintainers, so even I felt that issue, and we can't blame the maintainers because right now the repositories are very crowded because of GSOC. And I also have one question is that as a new contributor to the project, to the organization, how can I increase my chances of getting selected in GSOC firstly? Since I'm interested in AsyncAPI as a project, and also I was participating to this project for GSOC. So basically, since Bharat has spent few months previously on the repo and on the organization and all the mentors, but right now what people like me who have joined this February are facing like very less responses or compared to no responses from the maintainers on our doubts. I recently spent some time with the website repository, and basically I started with the few design issues, and I've raised few issues. It has been more than 6 or 7 days, I guess, but still no one has reviewed my issues, so I can't just start working on that. So basically, since the time is very less, and without the maintainers accepting the issues, we just can't reach the PR as per the contributors guideline. So how can I increase my chance of getting selected for the GSOC project since it's mostly on maintainership? Earlier, like last year, also I've seen the projects, and other organizations are also planning to like if people if the contributors contribute, then their chances of getting selected in JSOC increases. But in maintainership, it's totally different. So how should we approach that?
I can give you just my advice from the generator repo where I'm mainly focused on maintainer work,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not gonna give you more than I just said. Like we're open to GSOC. We always have projects for GSOC, but again, as a maintainers, as mentors, we have like limited capacity,
Yeah, I totally understand.
which means we are able to handle a few PRs, few issues a week, if we're lucky, if we don't have any private stuff. So usually what happens, what I see in the generator is that the sooner you start, the more lucky you get. If you start closer to GSOC, you're already in the crowded place. After GSOC, the crowd basically shows the interest was just GSOC, so the crowd goes away. People stop answering in pull requests and stop answering in issues. That's the time when you can join again. And then if there are no other projects, you basically have to think about GSOC next year. There's no really other way. But if you're gonna contribute during moments where the crowd is not here, that is making it easier for you to contribute to get responses. I don't know what happens with GSOC this year. It's unusually crowded that normally, and like there's no other advice I can do. So for example, in generator, I see that people that we look into the pull requests more, we prioritize them more, we look into the issues are usually people that we already know because they contribute for a few months already. So their pull request quality is already much better because they contributed few pull requests. They already learned how to do it properly. Um, and that's how it is, like, unfortunately.
Yeah, actually, even I've seen on the website repo like the issue section are being cluttered with irrelevant issues, or mostly people are just spamming in the issue sections, merging their peers without even asking the maintainers. So I can completely understand that. But again, the question comes like, what with since right now all the maintainers are busy, so I can just blame them and say my PR has not been, sorry, my issues has not been reviewed by any maintainers. So how can I increase my chance of getting selected as a maintainer?
Personally don't have a better advice. What we were always looking as a mentors in generator, previous contributions. This year, I'm not sure like how we're gonna approach it with Adi. Um, it also depends on the proposals. But the thing is that this year it's a bit different. I think all the other repos will do maintainerships, which means proposal itself is not so important as the previous contributions. And anyway, again, from the last year when AI started, Ace can confirm, but the quality of proposals was also overwhelming because they were like AI generated. So actually, proper review of proposals was basically again a huge challenge and exhausting challenge. So I don't really like. I personally don't have a good advice really for that, because even us as maintainers were struggling like how to handle the load, and we're trying to figure out our way.
And I
Got it.
think one advice that I think a lot of contributors used to miss, which is also like richly like broadly in GSOC guidelines, is actually being involved before GSOC, right? And for some reason, I think people always miss that. Even GSOC advise you to be involved before GSOC because they know once it is GSOC, it becomes crowded, right? You don't really know who is really interested and who is here for the, just for the stipend. And then after the program ends, and then they just disappear, right? And I think that is one thing maintainers are worried about. So they don't want someone to, come just for the sake of GSOC. And then once GSOC ends, they just leave their project abandoned without actually, completing it or stuff like that. And I think people just sort of like miss it. That's why maintainers look at past contributions, right? So if you come during this GSOC noise, it will be difficult for maintainers to actually single you out and be like, oh, this person is different, right? But it is easier for maintainers to pick folks that have been contributing before GSOC, right? For GSOC. So that is just how it plays. Even Google actually suggests that start contributing before GSOC. And I think that's one thing, especially now with AI, proposals will become more difficult to actually review. So I think mentors and maintainers, and I'm talking about not just the AsyncAPI, and I feel this is something that's happening to all the organizations in GSOC. They're experiencing this, and I think everyone is going to be leaning towards past contributions rather than proposals.
Got it. Actually, for me, GSOC is a cherry on top, basically. I really like the idea of async API and I want to contribute to it long term. That's why I was just exploring the project. But right now, everything is a mess. Like the website repo that I have contributed, it's completely crowded. I don't know about the other repos, but the website is completely crowded. So, Lucas, I have a question for you. Since you are being an active maintainer of the generator repo, so can you just suggest me how can I start with the generator repo?
It's also crowded.
Mhm. No,
Um,
I'm not asking you of, on like GSOC perspective. I'm
th-
asking for the long term, like, yeah.
yeah, so
How can
long
I
term.
understand the repo in a better way?
So if you're here beyond GSOC, then my advice is to wait few weeks,
Hmm.
because it's really crowded and can be again like also discouraging to contribute.
Yeah, got it.
We have what can I say, like in generator every 2 weeks we have and probably we're gonna have it weekly now, every Wednesday we have a meeting you can join. So you can, in Slack, join generator channel. There's an information about when the meeting takes place, and we coordinate the maintainers' work in this meeting where you can join. That's first thing. You can watch the recordings of this meeting, so you will learn what we look at as maintainers every single time we meet when we review pull requests. What's taking the most time of, what we waste our time on the most. What are the common mistakes you can address? We have also pretty good stuff done by Adi a few months ago, which is every pull request has we post a checklist of the maintainer. So basically what maintainer looks at, so the contributor can also validate the quality of their work with the checklist. So I would say check the developer guide, check this checklist for the pull request quality, and play with the generator, which requires a lot of additional knowledge to acquire. You're gonna have to learn what AsyncAPI is. So it's not as simple as website where you just need to know the front end and the brand and that's it. But here you need to know not only the code base of the generator, but also the whole concept of event-driven architectures, the async API. So there's a lot of additional education. There's a on YouTube, on our Async API YouTube, you're gonna find some videos, but we actually already in the developer guide, I think in developer guide or contributor guide, you're gonna see a link to the recording where I did a webinar about generator. So yeah, just look on the current docs, because in case of generator, we were doing maintainerships for already last 2 years. So our focus was also always to, improve the docs to have less work as a maintainer. And I was always pushing to update guides and whatever. So onboarding new maintainers is also easy. So yeah, try first to consume the contribution guide.
Okay, yeah, sure. And another question is like, what is the best way to reach out to you? Like, is it Slack or is it like GitHub discussions?
You mean me personally or in general?
Yeah, but either you or any other of the other maintainers in the generator repository. Like, if I get stuck in somewhere, at least I can like ask it out if I don't get a solution on the internet.
You can try in the generator channel if there are a few days where you don't get response from any of us maintainers, then try in the generator channel after a few days. There's also in generator channel, you're going to find in bookmarks, we have Dosu, I think is the name of the tools. There's a link to Dosu where that is connected with Slack and generator channel and with the whole knowledge about generator. So it's also pretty good for inquiries because it's learned also. It's like learning on our answers also from Slack. So it's also like some basic questions you could just use this Dosu knowledge base. But yeah, try in Slack. But yeah, also don't expect too much, especially in this next few weeks.
Yeah, sure. I will definitely keep that in mind. Thanks for your advice.
Okay, so I think we have Varat raising his hands. Do you want to say something?
Yeah, like if we are currently knowing that because of the GSOC, the crowd is very heavy and like for basically, yeah, it's typically is that Indians are quite going for the stipend purpose and all. But for me, like I want to contribute to Async API for years because the aim of Async API is slightly matching with the aim what I am looking forward. So yeah, what would you like to suggest in that case?
Sorry, I didn't get your question. Can you repeat it?
I mean,
Like
there's a lot. So Vara, there's a lot of noise in the background. I can also barely listen. But I think what you're asking, and correct me if I'm wrong. So your question was that you're also like you stated that you're also interested not just in GSOC but actually beyond GSOC, and what you should do if you actually want to contribute longer to AsyncAPI. If that
Yeah,
was your,
that's
yeah,
correct. Yeah, that's correct. Because I don't want to be a guy that comes for the GSOC, do a 3 months work and go. I want to be that kind of people that who contribute for the longer time to the async APS, do a valuable stuff over it.
yeah. So I'll just repeat what I already said to Bikash. Like our experience last 5 years. For example, I'm here like 6 or 5 years. Don't remember now. I'm too old. But it's there's a visible wave. If we would put it on some timeline, you usually see a huge wave coming in. I mean, earlier and earlier now, but it's like November-ish, maybe October-ish. People already start showing up because of GSOC. But then once the decision is made, let's say we're selected and mentees are picked, people that came in and usually say that they're just to contribute not only for GSOC, the next day they disappear. So my advice, if you're not here just for GSOC, but you want to stay longer, just wait for that moment. So wait for the moment where we will announce who's the mentee for a given project. And then I guarantee that the next day, the crowd will go down. That's how it always worked last year's. Not sure what would have to happen that it's going to change this year. But once that happens, once people go away because they were truly only for GSOC, then you're going to see that the responsiveness is much different for on the maintainer side. Of course, you have to give them like 1 week, 1 week more for like, like relaxing, like, okay, the wave is gone, the tsunami went through. We had some casualties, but yeah, let's regroup and get back. So yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. I was know all these things. Sir. Thank you. Really means a lot.
Okay. Any other question? Okay, I think we have Singh. Do you want to introduce yourself? Am I audible?
Yes, yes, you're audible.
Oh, okay. Singh, do you want to introduce yourself, or am I pronouncing your name wrong?
Isn't it Subhanshu? Not Singh?
Oh, okay. I was pronouncing the last name because I couldn't pronounce the first one, and I don't want to fuck it up.
Good.
Okay, but I don't think he can hear us or something. So I guess this should be the end of today's meeting. So right after this meeting, I'm gonna publish a summary, and then you can go through it later. For everyone that joined this meeting, it's been an amazing and insightful one. I know we all miss Tuli. She's gonna be back in the next community meeting, hopefully. Yeah, so we're gonna call it a day. Thanks for joining, everyone. And I hope you all have an amazing meeting. Bikash, I hope you had all your answers, your questions answered correctly, and Bharat. Thanks for joining, and I'll see you all in the next community meeting. Thanks, Lucas.
Thanks, Aziz.
Thank
It
you,
was lovely.
guys.